Hi guys, it's Jamie from PMR. Been out, I've given a throw, I've done all the bits and pieces to check this, and unfortunately it's not good news. Let me show you. And now I haven't got the crown screws on here anymore because I robbed them and put them back on something else, because unfortunately this reel has turned out eventually, for all my good postulating on it, saying that I think it's not a bad reel, having finally tested it, it's rubbish. And when I say it's rubbish, it's basically will give you a problem in any kind of fishing. I'll show you why. If I pop these off, first of all, I got lots and lots and lots of line trap when I was casting, as in the line was going in between the spool and the spindle, spool and the cage. A lot of movement there, and I was using 0.32 Sakuma line, so it should have been okay, and nearly every cast it got trapped. I did use the crown screws to take things off, but the other problems are you've got these little guys here that fit in here to hold this plate in place, so I had to be very careful taking it apart not to lose those. The problem is the bearing, when it sits in this hole here, unfortunately this moves. I don't know if you can, if I do that, if you can see that, it moves just a little bit, which means that the spool ends up being off center. So when you cast, now this is a silver spool and everything's silver, so I'm going to zoom up and see if I can get this so you can see it. Let's do that. Right, let's try and see if I can find where the limit is. Okay, that'll do. If I move this round, can you see the little chips? I'll find something decent to point rather than my ugly fingers. There, there. You see where it's catching the cage. Now, because this is silver in underneath as well, it's more difficult to see. But if I turn it around, you can see where it's catching the cage on the left hand side. Not everywhere, but just some parts. And also, to be honest, hang on, well, it should be the other way around, because that's the handle side. Alright, so the other side there, you can see it's catching. You see it's all grooved there. Now the problem with this is, let's wind this back out a little bit, when that is in where it is supposed to be, like so, and you have a 2-pound fish on the end, whether it's a level wind or one that's been converted like I've done, with the line coming out here, the spool is pushed forward, and what it does, you can see that, I don't know if you can hear that, but it locks up. So basically, if you've got a 2-pound fish on the end, you won't be able to wind it in. I know this because when I did the casting and tried it, the tide was going out and I had a 2-pound seaweed fish on the end of it, and I could not wind it in because the spool was just locking against the side of the cage. So I would have to pull and then wind while the line was slack, but I could not put constant pressure on it, because when I started to turn it and this would go up against here, it would, like that, it would lock. So I would have to pull, wind, pull, wind. So as a little 20-pound reel, it's still, I can't really fault it for what it is. for a child's reel, for a beginner or something like that. But if you do catch something, you might have a bit of a problem winding it in. So, bottom line, little budget reel, okay for little kids, 4 or 5, 4 or 5, anything up to about 10 years old I suppose, catching little fish. But as soon as you catch anything over a pound, it's not going to let you wind it in, and it really is time to look at something a little bit more expensive. So unfortunately not as good as I'd hoped for. And if you're thinking you can use this as a spare reel for your Avet, your Abu, your Daiwa, your Achios, your Tronics, whatever, this isn't going to cut it. I'm Jamie, thank you for watching PMR, Pit My Reel. I'll see you next time.